Hi, ladies. Hi, Sana. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Dana.
Good evening and happy weekend. Karen. Come on in, ladies. We might have a slightly fewer ladies with us on Thursday. Thursday nights, it's usually like that. So we'll
Dana,
get.
were you able to add me to the Facebook group? Because
No, I sent you the link. Did you request access?
I did.
Okay, let me check after the call because I don't.
I actually did. Like I did twice, so that's why I sent you a message.
That's very bizarre. Let me see.
I don't usually use Facebook, so that's why I don't know if I doing something wrong. I don't know.
Nope.
Should be pretty.
There's nothing here. There's nothing in the group. There's no anybody requesting.
I did, like, when you sent me the link, I said
Yeah.
join group, and I did that twice.
Let me check. Let me check when we're done again and see what's happening.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies, 7 p.m. Welcome to the end of your first day. Most of you here have completed your first day. A couple of you, Rebecca is in Canada. She's not done with her day one yet, but I think everybody here on the call right now is done with day one. And take a moment, ladies, take a moment because this is incredibly significant. You have completed the first day of your detox, and this is something that seemed impossible to you just 5 days ago. Last Saturday, you were not even potentially, no way you can imagine where you are today. When you got the material on Sunday, and you saw what was expected of you, and with all the overwhelm and the panic and the fear, you thought, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And you had all the different mixed feelings between Sunday and today you actually did it. So if you haven't, in the middle of prepping today and making sure everything is on time and dealing with your headaches and other detox withdrawal symptoms, in the middle of all that, if you actually haven't had a chance to recognize this incredible accomplishment, I want you to take a moment today when we're done from the call and just literally sit there and sit with this accomplishment. We're so good as women of just when we really want to do something, we're really focused on doing it, we do it, and then we move on to the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing without actually acknowledging when we've done something amazing. And we're so great at acknowledging everybody else's success around us except our own. So we can almost take it for granted when we, make a decision and follow through. And that's what you've done today. And today was a challenging day because you woke up this morning and you had to actually physically and mentally do the complete opposite of what you usually do every single morning, and do the complete opposite of what you usually do at lunchtime and at dinner time, doing it with physical discomfort. So maybe some of you had the headaches, maybe you had the fatigue. For most people, it doesn't hit until tomorrow or the day after. But I know that some of you were experiencing that today. The cravings, maybe you had to sit and watch people at work eating the usual things that maybe you would have partaken in, but you didn't today. So all of that deserves recognition. So please take a moment today, ladies, and give yourself a pat on the back, recognize that you've done something amazing. Share with us on the group how you feel about accomplishing this, because the first step is the hardest. And remember, we said, this is not necessarily easy. It's not. You're making lots and lots and lots of changes, but it is simple. So also recognize, like, what did I really do today? I took out all the bad stuff and I put in all the good stuff. Like, that's all there is to the process, really. If you want to simplify it, if you want to just take it down to the basics, you remove the toxicity and replenish the deficiency. So also keep reminding yourself of the simplicity of the process, despite the fact that today might have been a challenge, while also recognizing what an incredible accomplishment it is and everything you've gone through today. All right. So I want to hear from all of you. There's not much for me to say today. I'm going to open it up for all of you to let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what your experience was like. Let me know if you've had any of the uncomfortable symptoms. If you need support, go ahead, raise your hands or put it in the chat. Who would like to go first? No one? Okay. Did anybody have a great day today? Raise your hands if you had a great day. Even if it was uncomfortable, at the end of it, you felt like it was a great day. Zaina, yes. Okay. Sanat, my day was great. Karen, yes. Amazing. Wonderful. Karen also says, I don't want cake much, but today I think about it. Also, I feel it's too much to eat. Okay, so that's what happens. Remember when I talked to you yesterday about the famine, right? When your body and your mind are expecting a famine of some sort. So there's two things to this. There's the old programming, that old ancient instinctive part of us that thinks there's a famine coming. So I want the things that I want when there isn't a famine, but now the famine is a detox. The other thing, of course, is cravings. So cake is sugar. So what is happening to all of you today and the next few days is you're coming off of sugar. And sugar is, beyond being toxic, is so incredibly addictive. So they did these tests. When a cocaine addict takes a hit of cocaine, it lights up one pleasure center in the brain. When somebody eats processed sugar, not fruits, processed sugar, so let's say it's cake, or you have bread, which is a piece of toast is the same as 2 tablespoons of white sugar, or you have cookies, or you have dessert, you have anything that is processed sugar or that turns into processed sugar in the body, it lights up 8 pleasure centers in your brain. So you can just imagine to what extent you are coming off an addiction and how hard your addiction is going to try and get you back. So it's going to keep giving you the signals, like your brain wants its fix. Those 8 pleasure centers want their fix. So this is completely normal, Karen, and probably anybody who's having sugar cravings, sugar withdrawals, this could last anywhere from 5 to 7 days. But that's how long it takes to get rid of drugs and addictions and get those things out of the body. Sanat felt a bit sleepy, totally normal. Diana, terrible headache. So for the headaches, remember, ladies, the peppermint oil, the lavender oil, you need to mix them with a bit of coconut essential oil before massaging them onto your forehead, back of your neck. If you don't mind getting the oil in your hair, then go ahead and massage it into your scalp on top, and do this as many times as you need. But it's all normal. Like the headache is very normal, sleepy is very normal, it's supposed to happen. Reem, it was at the beginning, but now a terrible headache. So yeah, so I said like it won't typically for many of you happen today. Tonight and tomorrow will be the days when the detox withdrawal symptoms usually hit for most people. So take it easy this evening. Some of you are asking, like, what do I do when I need to go out? What do I do with socializing this week? Take a break from socializing. You're doing something so huge and so important for your body. Honor that process. Take care of your body while it's going through this process, and rest and relax at home so your body can do what it needs to do and how it knows how to do it, healing. So let it do it. Sanat, the only issue is having apple and dates were too sweet for my taste. I had to eat soaked almonds. I can't eat an apple after dinner. There's too much to eat today, especially apples. This is a readjustment of taste buds after a while, depending on not just you, Sanat, but everybody, depending on how your palate, to what extent it's used to caffeine, to what extent it's used to protein all the time, right? So if you're mostly protein consumer, right, you have lost the taste for sugar. So even an apple is going to be too sweet for you. So there is a learning curve to this as well, but it's really important that you are, just as you are doing tonight, you're really tuned into this and tuned in that you couldn't have an apple after dinner. So we're not forcing any part of this process. If you're full, you're full. But isn't it interesting? Because a few of you have said today, I couldn't finish. How many times have you followed a diet in the past and felt full and felt like you couldn't finish it? So this is something also to think about, right? When you're eating food from nature, when you are eating enough of the foods that truly feed your cells deeply, you get full fast. And you feel like you can't have any more. And this is a good sign that your body is starting to readjust. Hiba, slightly muscle aches and lower back pain. Yes, very, very normal. Again, you can use the peppermint, the lavender essential oil mix, or you can also do the magnesium oil for your lower back or any muscle aches. Is it fine to take lentils these 3 days? Yes, it is. So these first 3 days, 1 day's over. So just Friday and Saturday left. Animal protein, lentils, chickpeas, beans, nuts, all of those are still part of the clean eating process tomorrow and the day after. Sandra, go ahead.
And then I was gonna ask about the flaxseed and chia seed. For the first 3 days, it's okay to use them, right?
Yes, also okay.
And after that, it's not. But I mean, in after the 21 days, it's okay to use them again.
Yes, of course. Where these are what we're doing right now is really just a complete reset. Complete, like we want to just take it down to the absolute bare minimum, most nutrient dense foods, which are fruits and vegetables. Moving on from that, after we're done with the 9-day cycle, and then I'm going to walk you through what happens after that, what happens after that. When you're creating that blueprint for yourself, you're going to be looking at, you know, a selection of really, really healthy foods. And healthy foods come from fruits, vegetables, animal protein, seeds, of which flax seeds and chia seeds are a part of, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and nuts, and some healthy fats. That's basically where the healthiest, most nutrient-dense foods come from for humans. And you'll be able to see how much of each and the frequency of each that works for you. So just remember that the deep detox, the 9 days, specifically what's going to start from Sunday, that's not a lifestyle. Like that's not something that you can, some people, if they're really, 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 really ill, right? If we're talking cancer, we're talking something, Alzheimer's, we're talking really deep illnesses. No, this is what you would do to heal. And you would do that. And people have done that for 3 to 6 months to heal. For the majority of you here, and those of you who have autoimmune, you would only keep repeating the 9 days. And I'm going to talk about that. Some of you only need a few weeks. Some of you, a little bit more, if you had the condition for several years, for a while, might take you 3 to 6 months of really just focusing on fruits and vegetables. Maybe every once in a while, bring in some animal protein, but the 95% of what you would be eating is fruits and vegetables to speed up your healing. But eating, and you're going to see how when we do it on Sunday, that's not every day. That's not everyday life, but it is necessary for us to get deep into your liver and to clean it out so that you can figure out what are the ratios, what are the proportions of the other healthy foods that you can gradually bring back in that will keep you symptom-free. Now, the bread and the cheese and all of that, we know those are not healthy. We know those don't serve the body. They don't. Do we enjoy them? Yes. Are they always going to be somewhere part of our life? Yes. But these are not healing foods, and they're not really going to be what you're going to work into your blueprint. There are things that are just going to happen every once in a while. You travel, there's a special occasion, there's a birthday or something, and then you'll be making a conscious choice during these times also. Like it's interesting because it's not going to be just a default setting where it's like, oh, it's a birthday, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. Oh, I'm traveling, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. You're going to see there's going to be a shift in your mindset and a shift in in the kind and quality of foods you want to put in your body. But for now, just remind yourself that this is a very necessary, deep detox to get you to the point where you can make all of those decisions. You can't make those decisions right now. You can't decide right now how much animal protein is going to work for you. You can't decide what type or the frequency of the type. You can't decide right now in the state that your body's in, you know, if flax seeds and chia seeds are going to be okay for you, or if eating more cooked food is better for you than eating more raw foods. We just have to go to zero, reset, and rebuild from there. And this is where you understanding your body and trusting your own body is going to come into play, because one of the biggest things I want you to get out of this program is you really taking back control of your body, where nobody can tell you how your body is functioning or what you need to do for your body. I am just a source here. So even though you might be learning a lot of new things from me that you haven't heard anywhere else, I am not like, I'm not your go-to. I am somebody who's teaching you. You will take everything I'm teaching you and implement it and see how it works for you. But at the end of the day, the only person who knows your body and is responsible for your body and is the one who you can trust is you. You need to become advocates for yourself. And you need to do that by understanding how your body works. So always keep that in mind. There are no absolutes. There's nothing like definites, right? Some of you are gonna finish this and discover that through experimentation, through trial and error, discover that, you know what? I can have an egg once a week and I'm perfectly fine. I don't get any, you know, reactions. I don't get sick. I don't get a runny nose. I don't end up getting a flare up in one of my symptoms. Somebody else is going to discover that she has an egg once every 2 months, and the next day she wakes up with a runny nose, or the next day she has acne show up on her face. And even though we know that eggs potentially maybe are not the best foods, but some of you will be able to eat them anyway, because your body is healed enough where it can handle it, right? Somebody else won't. Some of you will be able to handle red meat without night sweats, without feeling irritated, without getting bloated, without getting constipated. Other people will be like, if they have even like a bite of red meat, it just won't work. So there are no absolutes. The only thing that's for sure is how your body reacts and how you trust yourself in this process. All right. Let's see. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Apple. You mentioned you are not keen on air fryers. Yes. So I realize they're time savers, and I have been very, very tempted myself, and everybody I know uses them. The main issue with air fryers is a couple of things. You remember how when we used to use the Teflon pans, right? And the Teflon coating ended up being something that was very toxic when it leaches into our food. So there are some types of air fryers, I don't want to say something that's not correct, but I think a lot of them, unless it states otherwise, have similar type of materials built into them, of these chemicals that can leach into your cooking. So this is one thing. The other thing is that if you are cooking something in there, and this actually applies to air fryers and baking, right? And let's say you put potatoes in there because you don't want to fry potatoes anymore, you want to bake them in the air fryer. And anything you put in there that gets like a brown, kind of crusty, you know how sometimes when you bake potatoes or roast potatoes, they get kind of brown. This browning is potentially carcinogenic. So again, it's not like for sure that if you use an air fryer, this is going to make you sick. And if you use it every once in a while, but if it's something that is, we always want to consider things that are done on a regular basis. So I would double check the air fryer that you're purchasing in terms of safety, in terms of the materials that were used to build it. And then whether you're using the air fryer or using your oven, you don't want to ever roast something to where it gets this brown, crunchy, crusty coating. That's it. Dina, is it okay to take fruit when I have a headache? Absolutely, please do. Sadat, once we are symptom-free and live on a healthy eating schedule, how often do we need to repeat the deep detox? Ideally, I recommend the deep, exactly like you said, when you've gone through this program and you've gone through everything, I recommend the deep detox once a season, so 4 times a year. I am expecting my period in 2 days, craving sugars. Is it okay if I eat dates whenever I want? Yes. Dates, again, incredible, incredible healing food, and incredible, especially healing for cramps. So definitely have as many dates as you want when you're craving and when you have period cramps also. Hiba, same thing. Yes, you can have dates. Is it okay to eat any kind of meat, even the fatty meat like kofta? In these 3 days, yes, no problem. Can I choose any of the dressings with any salad from the guide? Yes, you can mix and match. You can have the same one for lunch and dinner for the next 2 days. Lots of flexibility when it comes to the first 3 days. No problem at all. Yasmin, go ahead.
Thanks. I'll just take a step back to the potato thing that you were mentioning. My air fryer does not brown any of the veggies except for the potato.
Okay.
And when I look that up, it's not a nice shade of brown. It's not the brownish of, getting roasty and stuff. No, it's the oxidation kind of brown. It's kind of a disgusting shade. I just wanted to make sure that this is the potato and not the air fryer.
This happens with potatoes. It happens with more starchy things, like it'll happen with bread, things like that. What they're called, those brown things are called, I'll find it and put it on the group. I'm missing the name right now. There's a name for them. AGEs, I think they're called AGEs. And I'll post on the group why those can be harmful, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, Yasmin.
So, and see, the thing is, the interesting part is it forms randomly. If I put a bunch of potatoes, some get that color on some of their parts and others just don't. So anything that gets that brown, I just have to discard it, right?
Yeah, or just don't leave it in there as long, or just switch, maybe have, I mean, what I figured out to do, because I don't have an air fryer, but what I figured out, because this happens also when I roast the potatoes in the oven. So I mean, there's still also that same danger, even if you're using a regular oven, is I will boil things first to give them I know that they're cooked through, and then they need much less roasting time, like just to get a little bit, like a tiny golden, so they're not just plain bland looking potatoes. And that works out fine in terms of taste and texture.
Okay, and then one last question for the potato part. If we dip them, if we soak them in water with vinegar, does that stop the oxidation, or that has no effect on that?
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. I'll look it up and get back to you, but I have no idea if that would stop it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's see. Quantity of tahini is unlimited. I would say in these first 3 days, enjoy it. In all cases, would you want more than a big tablespoon? Usually a tablespoon is enough for dressing a salad. Mariam, today I couldn't start the smoothie before 12. I was so full and I couldn't really finish half of it. Okay, let's just address the first part of the question. So what time did you wake up, Mariam, and what time did you have your lemon and celery juice?
I woke up, I took my lemon water at 7:15.
Okay.
Started my celery at 8:30. And then I kept drinking the celery juice until 10 or something. I kept sipping on it until
Okay,
10.
all right, so that's why. Okay, so you took almost 2 hours with the celery. All right. Okay, I think that would do it. They're very filling, and they can make you feel like your stomach is just filled with liquids.
Yes.
Let's do this. For you, until you get used to this, first of all, don't leave more than 20 minutes between the lemon water and the celery. And the lemon water and the celery are not those things when I say take your time and make sure you give it 20 minutes, that doesn't apply to the lemon water and the celery. That you just drink, and the celery you just drink. So drink it right away, don't spend time with it. So let's start with just doing that and see if that makes a difference with you. If it doesn't, then let's decrease the quantities. But start by decreasing the amount of time between them and just drinking them like you're just drinking a glass of water. Don't prolong the consumption time of them. You want to prolong how long? You want to spend 20, 30 minutes drinking your smoothie. You don't want to spend 20 minutes drinking your celery juice. You should be done with your celery juice in a minute or two.
Okay, and what about the quantity of the smoothie? Because I felt like
you want 500 milliliters.
so it's not the quantity of the fruits that you put in the smoothie, it's when you
The end
smooth
result,
them, they make
yes.
500.
Yes. So I
okay.
noticed some of you are measuring, when I say cups, I'm talking about the measuring, actually the cooking and baking measuring utensils. So not a cup, like a cup you have at home. So I posted that on the group. When you're measuring a cup of something, there's these measuring utensils that tell you, 1 cup, 1/4 of a cup, 1/2 a cup, etc. And there's ones for measuring solids, and there's ones for measuring liquids. So some of you might have to make that readjustment if you've been measuring using a regular glass at home. That's going to give you way more than when you're using the measuring utensil. All right.
Okay.
You also have another question. I also got a terrible headache by 2 p.m. I took a little bit of coffee. Is the terrible headache common? Yes, the terrible headache is very, very, very common when you are withdrawing from caffeine, when you are withdrawing from sugar. So when you take a little bit of coffee, you sort of bring yourself back to the beginning of that process again, so that instead of tomorrow, maybe the headache being a little bit less, it'll be like you haven't done it yet. So make sure you keep it all out. The headache from the coffee is not because your body's missing something. It's not because, or the fatigue that you get, or if you're feeling sluggish without your coffee, it's not because there's a deficiency there and something is wrong. It's because the coffee is a drug. And just think what an addict looks like when they, put them in a room and they're not allowed to get their drugs anymore. What happens to them? Coffee and sugar are drugs. So you will feel your body withdrawing uncomfortably, unfortunately, for a few days until it's out of your system. So use the peppermint and the essential oil and the lavender essential oils to help you get through this.
Okay. I felt exactly like an addict.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like they would, coffee's called what? Like the most legal drug, and sugar, like the most legal drugs out there. Diana, I'm sorry I missed the first part. You were talking about headache. I still have one. What do I take and for how long? How long? Anywhere from 3. The headache is usually about 3 to 5 days. It doesn't last longer than that. And it's relative. So all of your detox symptoms are going to be relative to how much your body is coming off any of these drugs, coming off of coffee, coming off of sugar, processed sugars, all of this. So the more symptoms you have, that is an indicator that you had more that your body needs to get rid of than somebody who's only having milder symptoms. The solution for this, Diana, are the lavender and peppermint essential oils, which I've linked in your emails. I shared a few links. Whether you're living abroad, you can order the ones from doTERRA, and those are pre-mixed for you, and those are really and they're so easy to use. Unfortunately, you can't order them here in Egypt. I don't believe you can get them. So what we do here, but we still have great essential oils. You get the 2 oils separately, one lavender, one peppermint, and you need some coconut oil or jojoba oil or almond oil. Put the jojoba or coconut oil in your palm, put a few drops of the lavender, a few drops of the peppermint, mix them in together, and massage it into your head and the back of your neck as much as you want and as often as you need. Yasmin, go ahead.
Thanks. I was just curious about the science behind why is it that the lemon elixir and the celery, they come directly after each other, but we leave 30 minutes until we go to the berry smoothie?
There isn't really science when it comes to holistic health. Let's put it that way. Like nobody's out there doing a scientific experiment to prove any of this, because if they did, then nobody would officially need medicine anymore. So you're not really going to find like what is conventionally known as scientific. The reasoning behind it is the lemon and the celery go straight to your liver, and they go in and they stimulate the liver first thing in the morning. First thing on an empty stomach. They go in to boost your immune system. The celery goes in to replenish the liver. It goes in to start to push toxins out of your liver. So we just want to give it time to do its work. That's it. And it goes through the liver pretty quickly. So we don't want to be doing lemon and celery and smoothie all at the same time. That again is a type of overload, and it won't be as effective as just waiting a little bit in between to let each specific medicine do its job, basically.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Zaina, go ahead.
Hi, I had a few questions. My first one is about coconuts and coconut milk and coconut water.
Okay.
I know it's fine now during the clean eating phase, but what about the next few days where it's like only vegetables?
Yeah, in the next phase, because coconut is a fat, it's one of the good fats, but it's still a fat, so we also remove it, but with the exception of coconut water. So if you want to have coconut water starting Sunday, you can do that, but no coconut milk and no coconut flesh.
Cool, but coconut water is fine.
Yes, coconut water is fine.
And then with the berry smoothie, I know you had said we can like pre-prep it into plastic bags and so on. Is it okay if we also pre-mix it? So for instance, it's way more convenient to do it like for 2 days or 3 days at a time versus just mixing it once a day.
100%, but here's the thing. I wouldn't keep it, if you're gonna pre-mix it and put it in the refrigerator, put it in an airtight jar in your fridge, 24 hours only. So you can make it the night before and then consume it. Maximum, like I've done 48 hours and like nothing happened, right? It was okay. But ideally 24 hours. If you're going to freeze it, then you can make a whole bunch and keep them in there for a whole week. That's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that if you freeze and you put them in one of those glass jars, you want to leave some space.
Yeah, so it doesn't crack.
Doesn't expand and crack. Yeah, because we've had that happen. Yeah.
And then my last question is about miso. Also now, and then I'm guessing also in the next few days, like we're not now in the clean eating, it's okay, is it? I'm guessing it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Cool. And what about like canned veg and canned fruit, like artichokes, for instance? Sorry, questions. I thought I'd just ask them all at once.
Yeah, no. If you're getting something in a glass jar, so I know you can find like
like artichokes.
Yes. Anything in a glass jar is always gonna be, miles above in terms of quality, anything that's in a tin can. So glass jar, no problem, but you want to check, because especially things like artichoke and things like that, they're made with, I mean, just look at what's in there, like what's preserving it. Is it made with a seed oil? Is it corn oil, sunflower oil, canola oil? Does it have added sugar? Does it have added salt? They're not going to be using high quality sea salt in these things. So you do want to use it, rinse it out really well before you eat it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Really, Karen, where do you get doTERRA in Egypt? I love doTERRA, and I had tried to be a doTERRA, whatever you call it, and bring it in and have my clients purchase it and use it, but it like failed miserably. doTERRA there's 2 major international brands of essential oils. One is called Young Living, to my knowledge and my experience. One is called Young Living. The other one is called doTERRA. They make therapeutic grade essential oils. So all the essential oils that you'll find in Egypt, they're wonderful to use topically, right? They're wonderful to massage in and whatever. And as far as I know, though, you can't ingest them. And I wouldn't recommend because I don't know that you can. They're not therapeutic grade. doTERRA, the oils of doTERRA and this other company called Young Living are therapeutic grade, meaning you can put a few drops of the lavender or the peppermint, or they have an incredible range for different ailments, different symptoms, different things. You can put them in water, or based on the instructions, sometimes you can just take them straight in your mouth. You can ingest them as if they're medicine. So, but it's just all the complications of trying to get these things inside Egypt. But they're one of the highest quality essential oils that you can get. And like I was saying, the really nice thing about them is they sort of pre-mix oils already, like in a roller. So like peppermint or the lavender and many other blends, they'll pre-mix them for you with the coconut, because like I said, you need a carrier oil that transports these oils through to your cells. So they pre-mix it for you in a roller. So instead of like having to put it in your palm and mix it, you just take the roller and like massage it in, and they're fantastic. So Karen, let me know. Malak, I love doTERRA, right? Karen, I will share the contact. Yes, please. I have the roller peppermint, also lemon, right? They're lifesavers. Like whenever I travel, I order it and I have them, I bring them back with me. And they work also, if those of you, who have kids who get like stomach upsets and things all the time, when my son goes out and has junk with his friends, always comes home with some type of a stomach ache or something, I use the rollers of the peppermint, and they have one called, Zengest, it used to be called Zengest, a digestive one blend also, and just like put it all over where his stomach, if he's got nausea, feels like he's gonna throw up, and it works like magic. So yeah, anytime, please share, Karen, that would be great. Thank you. Heba, can I eat soup instead of the salad bowls? Yes. So in these first 3 days, you have the options of you have some soup recipes in there, and you have the salads, but also starting Sunday, remember I told you, if you are somebody you find that you get a lot of bloating, and all those vegetables, broccoli, asparagus, all the things are cleaning out your gut, so you experience a lot of bloating, you can roast them or boil them and do whatever you want to do with them, and then put them in a blender and have them as a soup also. Have a lovely weekend. You're welcome. So what's going to happen is tomorrow and Saturday, you can do exactly what you did today. If you want to just do a complete repeat of what you did today, you can do that Friday and Saturday. Starting Sunday, and you'll get this in your emails and you get it in the reminders, all the animal protein, plus all the nuts, plus any of the good fats, plus all the seeds, plus lentils, plus beans, etc. All of that also goes out, and starting Sunday, you're just doing fruits. The morning routine is the same. Lunch and dinner is basically the same, and it's just the salads and the cooked veggies. So that's what you do starting Sunday. All right. Zaina, go ahead. Did you have another question, or you just forgot your hand up, Zaina?
Sorry, I'm cooking. Yeah, I forgot to lower my hand.
It's all right. If you are craving crunch, it's still the first 3 days. Have some nuts. Malak is saying she's craving crunch. If you are craving something crunchy in these 3 days, nuts are still part of the plan for these 3 days. Have a handful of nuts, ideally raw, not roasted. Handful is usually, it's the right quantity. You don't want to have more than that. So you can definitely do that and have some nuts. Hiba, is it fine to start cutting animal protein from now? I don't want you to cut it completely, but let's say today you had it for lunch and dinner. Then what you would do tomorrow and Saturday is just have it once a day. Yes. Anybody else have a question for me today? I am going to be available. I'll be checking into the group periodically tomorrow and Saturday in case anybody is panicking a bit, in case any withdrawal symptoms increase. Remember, they're all signs of healing. They're not signs that something is wrong with your body. A headache, the fatigue, the sluggishness, diarrhea. Some of you might get diarrhea and a lot of diarrhea. That's not a sign that there's something wrong with your digestive system. The body knows how to eliminate. It knows what it needs to eliminate. So if you get diarrhea, that's just the body being super smart and finally being able to release. It's just like when you throw up, right? Why do you throw up? Because there's something in there the body doesn't want. It's harming the body. It's bringing discomfort to the body, so the body eliminates it. Diarrhea is just the same process, but on the other side. But again, it's one of the things we've been made to fear. But if you get diarrhea, even if it feels like it's all day, there's nothing wrong with that in the first few days. It's the body purging. So the body's going to purge with diarrhea. I hope nobody throws up, but it has happened in the past. Again, nothing to worry about. If it happens, rest, but do let me know if that happens. Headaches, fatigue, sleepiness, irritation, weepiness, anger, feelings of resentment. All of these are different things that can happen to you. They're all purging. The body's letting go of everything that's not serving it. So please, please, please take the time in the next few days to honor the healing process and to honor your body and to rest. Rest as much as you can. We're not used to resting as women. We feel like if we're rest, it means we're lazy, we're not being productive. But your body's working really, really hard. And so we want to help it as it's working hard. You're not being lazy, you're helping the body get through the next few days. Let me just see this. Stephanie, what is I got constipated, should I experience today? So that can also happen. You can get constipated also. Let me know. You can, if you have the magnesium oil, Stephanie, on you today, you can start with that tonight, rub it all over your abdominal area, and then let me know tomorrow. We don't worry too much about constipation if it's a one-off. We'll have to intervene if it becomes chronic or if you can't go to the bathroom tomorrow. So let me know. Samar, I just have discomfort around my ovaries. Is that normal? Yes, totally normal if the reproductive system also carries inflammation. It has to release the inflammation. That includes your ovaries, that includes your uterus. You might find some discharge coming out. All of it is normal. You might find in the next couple of weeks, your period shifts. It might come early, it might come late. Again, it's nothing but recalibration and nothing to worry about. Miriam, what is considered okay to eat not from home? I would say stay out and away from restaurants for now. And I say honor the healing. Restaurants, even if you're eating super, super, super healthy, if you eat something grilled and you ask for like a side of like sauteed veggies next to it, there's an incredibly high chance, I'm willing to bet my life on it, that the veggies are sauteed in a seed oil, and we need to get seed oils out of your system. So they're not using a high quality olive oil in restaurants. They're using cheap corn, you know, sunflower, canola, whatever it is. And that doesn't belong in the detoxing process. It will slow the process down. And animal protein, you can be pretty sure they're not using grass-fed, hormone-free, blah, 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 blah. So for now, take care of yourself and stay at home and honor the healing process. Stephanie, I do have the oil. Perfect. So massage it in right when you get into bed tonight before you go to sleep. Massage it into your abdominal area and also right where your liver is, which is right under your right breast, like right under your rib bone on the right side, right underneath it. That's where your liver is. Massage it into the liver because constipation starts in the liver. Massage it into the liver and all the way all over your abdominal area. Malak, when do you expect to get our energy back? More or less, of course, I want to say, again, between usually 3 and 7 days, depending on the level of toxicity that you're carrying and the speed by which your body starts to release it. Yeah, but usually by 10 days, if we're talking long, like what's the longest? 10 days. Yasmin, go ahead again.
Thanks. Yeah, about the diarrhea. Interestingly, I've had a friend who's had diarrhea for weeks, but she doesn't do clean eating. And I was just curious because you touched upon that. Maybe you've come across someone with that case. So I was just curious.
That's just the body. Every time she eats something that's crappy, the body needs to get rid of it. She's actually pretty lucky. Most people, when they eat inflammatory foods, most people go the other way. They're chronically constipated. The body can't digest it and it just ends up being stuck. She's actually really lucky. She could also be dealing with parasites or something like that. If it's like all the time, like it's not just every once in a while the body's purging, that could also be a sign of bugs or parasites also.
Okay,
But if
thanks.
she's eating the typical, like, and if you're eating the typical bread, cheese, junk, sodas, caffeine,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
And a
you're,
lot of takeout and
yeah. So you're feeding the viruses also, the pathogens and the parasites also. So she's got a bunch, she's got a combination of those things going. I'd be very interested to see if the diarrhea stopped. She might have a little bit more if she were to do a detox, but then it'll be interesting to see how her body stabilizes after that.
Okay, thanks.
Sally, go ahead.
I'm so excited. I'm really enjoying every second of the program because I felt like I think I was very lonely in the eating. I've been for a year now, and now sharing, it's like, you know, I have a headache since yesterday because I started taking coffee recently,
Yeah.
one day, and I think it's affecting me when I stop. But and I'm trying things out, you know, like eating a piece of meat, a real kawera, like I told you, because I feel you're there. I want to share with you. I want to get the experience right, you know, with you in the program. So I can't tell you. I'm really happy and excited, and
I'm so happy.
and I discovered that for almost quite some long time now that I'm eating much less than I should. You know, I'm on veggies and vegetables, but I eat once, not twice. So it's like half of what I'm eating. And I'm pushing myself to start again. And I can't believe it's too much on me because I'm a big eater. And, you know, but
yeah,
I guess we're changing, you know, everything is changing. Yes.
It's so important to embrace change because it's that's what's constant in our life is change. And you have to accept that what might have worked for you 5 years ago is not working for you now, might not work for you in 5 years, you know, going forward. So always just, that's why it's so important to be attuned with your body and listening to it, because I'm somebody who I was like 100% convinced that being vegetarian, or like when I was like 36 or 37, like being vegetarian is the best way to go. And it was not the best way to go for me, but I insisted because I was like, this is the best thing to do. And then that was my first experience with the health coach who was like, and my first experience with the detox. And I was like, no, you can't convince me. You're not going to make me do this. Like, I know what's good for my body, even though I was sick, I was exhausted, I had acne, my hair was falling out. I had everything, all this proof that this way of eating wasn't working for me. And I realized when I like surrendered, right? Suspended my belief long enough to try something else and realized to what extent I was holding myself back because I was so stuck in my beliefs. So open yourself up to the change. You might come back, do a full circle. You might, right? But at least you've given yourself the opportunity to experience and the opportunity to experiment and the opportunity to be your own advocate for your own health, because nobody's going to know your body better than you. So definitely be open to this. Be excited, right? The excited feeling is what's going to help you get through this. And I know that there's no scientific evidence for this, but I've seen, without a doubt, the ladies who have gone through my program with excitement, even when they screw up, but they're excited, they're the ones who get the best results by far than the ladies who are sort of like cynical and kind of like gloomy about it and kind of like whining and complaining through the process. You get to have a little bit of that, but at some point you need to snap yourself out of it and get super excited, because it's about the feeling and it's about believing, and your body is just literally waiting for you to do that.
I just said a little thing
Yes.
for all the group, for all the ladies, that I heard yesterday that it's a bit difficult for people critical of us, you know, going on this journey.
Yes.
And they were with me in the beginning, like my friends were thinking I'm crazy going out, you know, it's ridiculous. And now, after almost a year, there is a very, very different approach. They because I look different, I lost weight, and everything's changed. They started admiring and encouraging me. And then now, when I'm invited over, they have like this week a Thai dinner just to encourage me to be with them and enjoy. You know, somebody cooked only fish and shrimps and vegetables for all of us. So. You know, it changes. They won't stay like this for long as you are achieving, and they, you know, they admire. And you know, after 50, we're all very difficult to lose weight. For me, losing like 15 without diet, 15 kilos, you know, for everybody, it's very boosting.
Yes. It's incredible. People will make fun of you, they'll mock you, they'll wonder what you're doing, they're gonna, you know, like, and then, you know, but then after they're gonna get curious, because you can't deny what you're seeing. Like, you can't deny what your eye is seeing. You can't deny the proof that's there. So, and this is incredible. There's an incredible concept that we learned in health coaching school, which is the ripple effect, which is you only really need to be an example for one other person. Like, just do what you need to do for yourself, but also hold it in the back of your mind that maybe you can help just one other person. And if that happens, then that person can make a change, and then they can help one other person. And then you get this ripple. So even if you feel like people are not understanding you or people making fun of you, there's somebody, there's one person out there watching you. And you kind of do, you kind of owe it to the one person who might be watching you and waiting for inspiration, and they're waiting to see how you're going to do it. Beyond owing it to yourself, first and foremost, you owe it to the people who are maybe watching you silently and waiting to be, you know, inspired and waiting to take that first step because of you. Incredibly, incredibly powerful.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Samad, I tried the hot flash spray with the essential oils and it really worked. Oh, wow. Samad is like, ahead. Amazing. I know, it's amazing. I'm glad that you've tried it and it works. We're going to get to that when we get to essential oils, and that's still not next week, the week after. But definitely it's in there if you want to try it. By all means, go ahead. I'm so happy that it worked for you. All right, ladies. So we don't have a session tomorrow. We don't have a session on Saturday. I will see you on Sunday. Rania. Hi, Dana. I had the goddess salad today. Was yummy, yet I'm really not hungry. Look how many times, ladies, have you gone on a diet and said, I'm not hungry? This alone should have you reframe your whole understanding of food. Is it normal that I push myself to have dinner, or better to split the meal into several ones, or maybe decrease the quantity? Again, Rania, tell me what time you had it, because what time you had it is really important. What time did you have breakfast, and what time did you have your lunch?
Hi, Dana.
There you are.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had my breakfast at 8.
Okay.
And I had my lunch. You know, the timings were perfect. You know, like I stuck to the timings that you listed. But I don't know. It's just so filling. I had the goddess salad with the apples and the carrots. It was really, really good. But I just couldn't even eat the apple. You know, at the time that you.
So what time was that? What time was that?
So I had the lunch, I had the salad at 2. I had the apple. I pushed myself to have the apple at 4.
Okay.
And then now I'm having the lunch the dinner, and I'm not very hungry, you know.
What time will you sleep?
I sleep around 10:30.
Okay. So there is a learning curve to all of this, but just so you know, this would be eating too late, close to bedtime, right? In general, so if you're sleeping around 10, you want your last meal to be, 7 o'clock maximum. So you might, as you tweak this, try having the lunch more at 12, closer to 12, so that by 6 o'clock, you can have a little bit more space in your tummy to have dinner. For tonight, if you're definitely full, You never want to force it. Don't ever force it. If you're full, you're full. Okay.
Mhm.
But just so that we don't miss nutrients, right? You don't miss out on nutrients moving forward. Try and shift it a little bit, because 8 o'clock is great. But then you want to bring your lunch up a little bit so that you can have dinner earlier. So you give yourself time to digest your lunch, and then you're hungry again by 6 or 7.
Okay.
All
So
right.
so or shall I split the lunch into 2 meals? Like
You
maybe
can try
eat,
it. Are you planning on having the same thing tomorrow?
probably, yeah.
Okay, then try that. Split that and see if that works also.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, ladies. Oh. Is it okay to take a nap during the day? Take as many naps as you need. That's why I said stay at home. Nap when you need to, sleep when you need to, like rest when you need to, take a bath when you need to, bum when you need to. Your body is working quite hard in these few days. It is. A nap is not something to be ashamed of. You're not weak. Like all of these things that you keep thinking that if you need to do, you're weak, like take a nap during the day, you're not weak. That's a sign the body needs rest. So listen to the body and rest, right? So anytime you feel this, and there is going to be, again, the next week is a major readjustment for your body. Some of you might find that you sleep really much earlier than your regular bedtime. So let's say you're somebody who's used to sleeping at 11 or 12, you might find that at 9 o'clock, you're just exhausted, you need to go to sleep. Follow your body's, follow what the lead that your body is taking you. Some of you might, if you sleep really well, you might find that you might get a little bit of insomnia. Again, that's fine, especially if you're waking up around 2 or 3 a.m. That means, because remember, the liver is doing all the work in the middle of the night, and its work peaks around 2 or 3 a.m. So if you find yourself, or you've been waking up around 2 or 3 a.m., that's because the liver is working hard at this time. So whether it's been overloaded and trying to regenerate in your pre-detox days, or now that we've initiated a deep detox, it might need to work harder initially. So you might find yourself waking up when you haven't. It's all good. So there's just a recalibration of everything. And one of those things is sleep. Actually, I slept after the breakfast. That's fine. If you're used to having a coffee first thing in the morning and you're not, you can be then really sleepy in the morning. And so you sleep. That's perfectly fine. Rania, I skipped the lunch, but I ate the salad with the salmon for dinner. Is that okay? Why did you skip the lunch, Rana? Where are you, Rana? There you are. Why did you skip the lunch? And basically what time was breakfast and what time was what would have been lunch and what time did you have the salmon? Hello? If you're talking, Rana, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, Dana. Sorry, because sorry. How are you? Because I was today out of the house. I have my cousin in the hospital. So I just took my snack, and I couldn't take the lunch with me.
Okay, no problem. So basically life happens sometimes, and you know, you have things to do and catches you off guard, no problem. In general, you don't want to be skipping meals, because if it's something that you do regularly, and if something you've been doing before and you skip any meal, the body keeps track and the body keeps score. So anytime we're skipping a meal, the body's going to have to make up for all of that at night. And that's one of the reasons many women feel so hungry at night, because they've either not eaten during the day or they've eaten the wrong foods during the day and the body's missing nutrients. So before you sleep, the body's like okay, let's make up for all these deficiencies. So one-off is all right. Salad with salmon for dinner is perfectly fine. No problem.
But the lentils make me feel like really gassy. Like it was causing me problem.
The lentils.
Yes.
Okay, then don't, because lentils are not healing foods, right? And it's very, very common that lentils, chickpeas, you know, hummus, beans, very, very common that these are very difficult for the body to break down, and they can cause bloating. So if already they're causing you that, remove them.
Okay. For now or forever?
I would no, forever. I mean, once we like rebuild your digestive system, once you have a stronger digestive system, definitely experiment and try again, right? And see what happens. Because right now your digestive system is just it's all over the place and it's weak and it's tired and it's full of pathogens. It could be that after a reset, it might be better able to deal with something like lentils. So definitely keep yourself open to trying them again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lana.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Samar, weird question. I use turpentine while painting. Oh, will that be considered toxic? So I have the same issue because my daughter is an artist and we actually had to stop using turpentine. I mean, I would say the issue is not even that it's on your hand, the issue is that you're inhaling it. She ended up having a lot of respiratory issues because of this. So it's something you need to be very careful of. This is one time, probably the only time I'm ever going to recommend you wear a mask is if you're using it, because it's actually worse to be inhaled than that is on your hands. On your hands, maybe you can wear gloves or something. You go and wash your hands, but something that's inhaled stays in the body longer. So yeah, definitely please be careful with that. I can paint with acrylic instead of oil then for some time. Yes, please do if that's an option, 100%, please. Okay, you did it, ladies. Day 1 is finished. We're taking it one day at a time. Tomorrow you're going to wake up and take a deep breath and do it all over again. Tomorrow, though, is an easy day because if you work, there's no work. Your kids don't have school. You have minimal obligations tomorrow. I want to keep reminding you to honor your body. You're not missing anything if you don't go out tomorrow. You're not missing out on life if you don't go out to a gathering or go out to a restaurant. You've done it. We've all done it over and over and over and over and over again every single weekend. So this weekend, you are going to prioritize you and prioritize your healing. It was either in today's email or today's, I think I have a post coming tomorrow of some things that you can do instead of going out, right? Like going back, going inward, getting more quiet, getting more focused with yourself. We just always feel like we have to do all the things and there's this incredible fear of always missing out, but there's an incredible joy in just doing the very quiet, homey things also, especially when you're healing. So prioritize that tomorrow. Message me in the group if your symptoms are too uncomfortable and for any reason you feel worried, I will check in. Message me privately if it's something you don't want to share in the group. I will also be checking my emails, and know that the body knows what it's doing. The body doesn't break down. The body heals. It doesn't break down. Remind yourself of that. It doesn't break down, it heals. Sandra, just reminding you to add me to the group. I'm going to check and see what the problem with that is right now. And Hiba, one last question. In the berry smoothie, do I just put the coriander leaves without the stem? If you have a very strong blender, put it all in. The stems also have a lot of benefit. If it's one of those blenders where it's going to give you bits and pieces of the stem because they're a little bit more tough to blend, then cut them off. But yeah, there's nothing. The stem is where in any leafy green or anything, that's where all the vitamins and nutrients go up into the rest of the leaf, right? The rest of the plant. So there's a lot of nutrients in the stems. Okay, all right, ladies, I will see you all on Sunday, inshallah, same time, same place. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, ladies.
Same to you. Bye.